Hi and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be showing you how I draw my leaves for tattoos. So I'm going to insert a few pictures here of the sort of thing I'm on about. So to start the leaves, never draw a straight line. You want to start by drawing a curved arch line or an S shape. Sorry if my camera keeps focusing on my hand in this video, by the way. So once you've done your middle line, either curved or S shape, you then want to do two outer lines. If you do a curved line, you just want to do an arch shape to follow the sort of shape of that line. And then with the S shape, you can do two S shapes either side to overall form that basic leaf shape. No leaf would ever be perfectly straight, so if you do a really straight line, it's just not going to look realistic. So for the veins, you just want to either draw a line from the middle central line to the edge, or you can start at the edge and bring it into the central line, either way. So you just want to kind of spread these out so they're not too perfect, and try and have them coming off slightly different points. And you just want to do a curved line from the middle up, so you could just do a straight curve, or again a bit of an S shape, but you're trying to create V shapes essentially coming off that middle line. So I like to try and do these quite deeply. So I'm just going to show you now how you can make the leaf look slightly different. So I've drawn two pretty much identical leaves, and then I'm just going to show you how you can change the perspective of the leaf slightly to make it look like it's curving inwards, and look how it's curving outwards. So another way I like to draw my leaves is when you're doing the outside lines, just do these sort of little indents. Again, you don't want to make those symmetrical, so you could have one on one side, two on the other, and try and stagger the points. So then you can use those little divots as a base to draw your little curved lines for the veins inwards. So you can see on the left hand side of the leaves, I've got one curving downwards and one curving upwards on the leaf on the right hand side. So this just will change the perspective of the leaf to show if it's folding inwards or outwards. So it's just a subtle difference, but it will just give a little bit of variation to your leaves. So I'm just going to show you now, if you don't do these veins quite deep and you do them really shallow, it just doesn't really look as good. So you can see here, if you do your curved lines really short and not too deep, it just completely changes the look of the leaf, and I quite like those deep lines. So now I'm going to show you how I do a spray of leaves. So I'm going to start by drawing, again, you can either do your curved or S shape. So you want to start with the middle leaf, and then off that I'm just going to draw another two leaves. So I'm going to have this one kind of underlapping or overlapping, and then I'm going to do another one that's separate, just to have a bit of variation, and just try and do them all different sizes slightly. So I start with the middle one and then add one on either side. So I've got this one, which is an S shape in the middle, and I'm going to add those little divots like I mentioned earlier. And then I'm going to make this leaf look like it's just sitting behind that leaf. And then for this one, I'm just going to do a bit more of a curved line. So if I'm adding leaves around a flower, for example, I'll try and vary the amount of leaves in one little spray. So I might have 2 or 3. I very rarely will just have one on its own, but always just try and have different amounts. So I've just gone on and added those veins. So again, you don't have to be too accurate with that at all. I just really mix it up and I add the veins from the little indents in first and then use the gaps to fill in the rest and just try and make them a little different. So if you want your leaf to look like it's slightly folded over, just start by doing the same as we did before. So your baseline, your 2 outer edges, and then all you need to do is literally add a little S shape on one side. You could do both sides if you wanted, or just one. And then I'm going to go ahead and add my little veins to that, but just don't draw them where that little extra S shape is, and then that will make it look like your leaf is slightly folded over and curving outwards. So I've just rubbed out all the pencil lines so you can see what they look like. So to shade your leaves, I'm just going to grab this lighter pen, and this will sort of mimic how I would do my stipple shading on the tattoos. So I normally start from the outside in, and then I try and use the lines of the veins as a bit of a guide to add some shading off of those. And then what I like to do is pick the opposite corners from the top of the bottom of the leaf. So as you can see on this one, I'm shading the top right and the bottom left, and then some random ones in between just to give it a nice ununiform look. So again, I've done the top right one. I normally pick the one with the smallest gap on the top, and then we're just shading from the top and the bottom. So now I'm going to show you how to do a little vine of leaves. So again, you can start with your S shape, and I'm going to do one, just a curved shape. So I like to just start with my end leaf. So you can use the end of that line sort of as the middle of that leaf. And then you just want to try and draw little curved or S shapes off of that central line. And again, space them out evenly. I did end up drawing these leaves quite a similar size just for the demonstration, but if you can try and alter the shapes of the leaves slightly, and they normally get a little bit smaller as you get towards the bottom, so the base of the main stem of the leaves. So you want to leave a bit of a stem without any leaves on at the bottom, as the leaves wouldn't go right down to the very end. So I'm just going to draw over that with my pen again. So start with your middle line, and then we can do those little indents on the leaf again. Just do them really random. You don't have to have them on every single side of the leaf. So you could do one side just curved and then do your little indents on just one side, or you can do them on both. Again, just mix it up so they're not all the same. So for this one, I'm going to simplify it just slightly. So I'm just going to do just smooth leaves on this one. It's good to have a variety of details within your leaves. So if you're doing lots of them, you could have some that have all the veins on them, some that are just, you might have a central line going through and just one line either side, or even just some that are completely empty in the middle. So it's good to kind of mix it up a little bit. So I'm just going to go ahead and rub out those pencil lines to show you what these look like. So to shade these ones, to keep it a bit simpler, you can just literally shade from the top to the bottom to try and make the leaf look a little bit more 3D. So you don't have to worry about the veins. Just do it really, really simple. Just shade from the corners out into the middle of the leaf. So top and bottom. So that just gives a really nice effect with the leaf, but keeping it quite simple. So if you can't draw the leaf big enough to get all the detail in for those little veins, this is how I would draw the leaves. So for this little spray of leaves, I'm literally going to just do them as we did before. So adding the veins on, all slightly random. And then we can do the shading as we did before. And then just to show you what I meant by doing those really, really simplistic leaves, if you only have space for some small ones. So we're going to start with our S shape, and then we can still do the same process. Use the end for your end leaf, and then do your little branches off. So, but for this smaller one, you're literally creating two kind of S or C shapes either side, just to create some really, really simple basic outlines. So I'm just going to draw over those with the pen, and then to shade those in, all you do is literally start from the corners and just flick it in towards the middle. Just really, really super simple. So I think that is everything I have to say about drawing the leaves. I hope you enjoyed watching this video and found it helpful. I am going to be uploading lots of different floral tutorials. I'm going to try and do one a week and just get back into uploading these videos. I've got loads of flowers planned that I want to do. So if you have any ideas or specific flowers, please comment them down below. I've got a daisy and a rose planned next, but yeah, just let me know if there's any others that you would like to see, and give this a like if you found it helpful. And I will hopefully see you in the next video.